Hey guys, so I am here with my husband Nathan because last month we read the book Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, and we have never done a video together doing a review for a book, so I figured we would do one today since we did both read and really enjoy the book. What year does the book take place in?
It's like 2083.
Are you confident in that?
I feel pretty confident in it. I'd like for you to look it up to see how accurate I am.
2044.
Oh, I was off by 40 years.
Yeah, that's a big jump. This book takes place in the year 2044, and America and the world pretty much suck at this point. So there is this online virtual world called Oasis where pretty much everyone gets plugged into. There are hundreds of different planets and tons of different games. People have jobs in this Oasis world. So the creator of Oasis is Halliday, and his friend and him Ogden. They both kind of created this, and Halliday was obsessed with the 80s. So everything 80s pop culture he was obsessed with. So a lot of the world is designed with those references, and Halliday unfortunately dies, and when he dies he sets up this quest, and whoever should complete the quest will have all the rights for Oasis, which is like billions and billions of dollars, and they can pretty much do whatever they want with it. Also, they'll be the richest person in the world essentially. So this huge quest starts. So in this quest there are 3 keys and 3 gates that each player must pass to actually win, and all of these keys and all of these gates are based on Halliday's obsession. So you really have to understand Halliday to understand how this quest works. So this whole quest, basically it's all 80s pop culture references in video games, movies, TV.
I would say the only thing that I would add is that it's mostly 80s. It's mostly 80s pop culture references, but when it comes to video games, it's a little bit more 70s. Video games that they're referencing aren't as much Super Nintendo as they are like console arcade games like Galaga and Pac-Man and things like that.
So our main character is Wade, and he is a high school student who goes to the virtual school Oasis because his life pretty much sucks and he is plugged into Oasis 24/7 for the most part. And he is obsessed with Oasis, he's obsessed with Halliday, and he really wants to win this quest to find this egg. The book starts off 4 years after this quest has been open, but no one has made any headway in solving any of these clues. So everyone had this huge frenzy when the quest was first opened because everyone thought that they were going to win, but it's 4 years later and still no one has gotten any closer to figuring out where Halliday hid this egg. What I really liked about this book was the sense of adventure that this book gave, and I personally don't know anything about video games, and I really don't know much about 80s pop culture, so a lot of the references were completely lost on me, and I still was able to enjoy this, which I think says a lot about how engaging the story was if I didn't get half of what the book was talking about, but I still really liked it. And now Nathan, on the other hand, he understood a lot more, so I'm sure he'd go into it a little bit further.
Yeah, so my undergrad actually is in digital media and game design, so when it came to video games, my heart exploded when I was hearing this stuff, but she's right, there's a really good balance between just a casual, everyday person, they would still be able to understand it, but they also make some references that you go like, oh, I really get that. I get, like, if you like video games, you will get it. If you like that type of 80s culture and you care about, Blade Runner, you're gonna, like a lot of the stuff that you read in the book, and you will really feel nostalgic. There's a lot of nostalgia pull. In my opinion, I think that sometimes it waned a little on the nostalgia pull. So sometimes I know that the author was doing a lot to get people engaged and get people to really feel like this is the 80s, and especially because this character loved the 80s, so you wanted to know everything so that you could solve this puzzle. But I think sometimes the author leaned a little bit too much on it. I still liked it a lot, but I think that sometimes the dialogue could have maybe brought in some of those references instead of, pulling you out and talking just about 80s stuff. So that's my only critique, but it was like a super awesome book.
Yeah, I mean, I think I gave it like 4.5 stars, and I'm only docking it that half a star because a lot of the book was lost on me because of the references. So that is why I personally had to dock it half of a star, but it still is a really solid rating. I mean, I don't rate books 4.5 stars all that much. And do you have a star rating for it? Have you even thought about it?
I don't know. I probably won't use stars. I'll probably use tokens. I would probably give it like 4 tokens. I thought that it was a phenomenal book. I was entertained, and especially there's definitely a point in the book that is a kind of a point of no return that you can't put it down. So if you are going to eat dinner that night, sorry guys, you're not going to be able to eat dinner because you're not going to want to do anything because you're going to be so connected to the book. You definitely feel connected to the characters. I would probably dock it about half a point for the love story. There was definitely some kind of like insta-love, this unrequited love that was like really pushed and forced that I could have happened a lot more organically. But at the same time, I am a sucker for like cheesy romance, and so I thought it was good, but they could have done it better.
Yeah, and on that point, I just want to say, like, when the romance started, it felt like the author was thinking, formula for a book. Okay, here's some action, here's some adventure. Oh, I guess I have to put romance in it. So it felt like a little bit like the author just put this in to put this in. Now, I think it did develop better as the book went on, but initially, I love romance novels. I felt weird by the way the romance was started out in this book. It just felt, it didn't feel right, but it worked itself out.
Yeah. Here's a really cool thing. So, Steven Spielberg bought the rights to this movie. And in fact, if you like Steven Spielberg, you're really going to like this because there's a lot of Steven Spielberg references because he was super popular in the 80s. So they're making a movie that's coming out, I think, in March. March. So I was spending the whole time knowing that this movie is going to come out and like really excited for this movie, thinking like, oh, that's going to be a super awesome scene. Oh, I cannot wait to see that scene. And then thinking, I can't even think of how many like trademark references there are. I have no clue how they're going to make this into a film. I mean, from talking about Back to the Future to Blade Runner to, I mean, I think there's even a Voltron reference in there. How they're going to get the rights to all of that stuff to make it a movie, I'm really interested in, and I'm really interested to see it come to life because I think it's definitely going to be a movie that even if there are going to be changes, it's going to be awesome. And in fact, the author, Ernest Cline, is one of the screenwriters, so it's going to be one heck of a movie. So I would suggest that you read it before March 2018 so that you can go in and be one of those snobs who says, well, I read the book.
I finished it before Nathan, so I was at work and he was texting me as he was at the part where he pretty much listened to it the whole day, I think. That day, yeah, it was like a Monday because I finished it Sunday before work. So he was texting me as he was getting to all these pivotal scenes, and I was just like, yay, I'm so excited you're getting here. So I would say this would be a great book too for like a book club or just reading it with a friend, because it's fun to just talk about these exciting moments that are happening and just to wonder what's going to happen next, because there's just a lot of twists and turns, honestly, like especially as you get even to that halfway point in the book. It's just like, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? It's really fun.
There is also some classic fan fiction-y kind of stuff. So Kelsey, my wonderful wife, is an avid book reader, and I am a casual book reader, and so she is a sucker for really crappy fan fiction, and it just makes me laugh.
Taste. Okay.
You have a taste, yes. There is this, as the BookTube community will kind of know, it's like, oh, he's overweight and he doesn't look good and there's all of this, and then, you know, throughout the book he just becomes this handsome, jacked guy that's
hot.
Yeah,
hairless, apparently.
It works. The thing is it really does work in this book. It would not be a reason for me to tell you to not read it. Everyone that I've recommended it to 2 people, and both of them have loved it, and I'll keep recommending it. As a side note, I read this book and I definitely started playing D&D. So any of you people who are kind of D&D fans, anyone who's a gamer or even really likes the gaming culture, or I mean, here's the other one that I really appreciated, being married to my wife. I think now she gets a deeper understanding of the culture of a gamer and stuff like that. She was able to get a glimpse in the world of this entire culture that really appreciates that. So if you're dating or married to someone who is, you know, an avid nerd or geek, I would say, a video gamer or someone like that, give it to your friend to read.
This book is character driven while also being very much plot driven, so I think it was a good mixture of both. It's definitely more about the plot though, but there is definitely character development in Wade from like the first chapter to the last chapter. If you have read this book, please let us know in the comments what you thought about it, because we would love to know. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah. My wife is too nice and too sweet to ever add this, but if you like this,
don't do this.
If you like this video,
no,
put a like,
no,
comment, subscribe, and send it to your friends, because
don't
look at how
send it to
wonderful
your
this
friends.
person is.
Don't send it to
She's so
anybody.
beautiful, and people need to see her face.
This
And
is all
she
getting edited out.
no, don't edit me out. This is not going to get edited out because it's true. Like it, comment, subscribe.
All right, thank you for watching.
Plug.
Happy reading. This is not.
This isn't working.
Leia,
That's not working.
Leia, do you want to just sit down?
It's gonna be recorded for the whole world to see how good at dog parenting we are.
Not good.
Which is not good.
Leia,
Ow.
please be a gentle soul.
Yeah.
You should see the bird. So this book starts in the year